Hello. I don't know whether you've been following what's been going on in Parliament in the last few days. It's been very interesting from my point of view, partly because there's a person who I've been repeatedly calling out to resign, and finally she seems to be sort of in a pinch where she has very little wriggle room. I don't doubt that she will not resign. So the issue is about the Napier barracks, where we are keeping people who are asking for asylum, people who are migrants, people who are refugees. On Wednesday, the 9th of June, so 2 days ago, letters were finally released proving that the advice given to the Home Office was that the dormitories where people are now being kept in the Napier barracks are not COVID compliant, that they don't allow for proper social distancing, that they are inappropriate. This follows a court case, an appeal by 6 asylum seekers and a judgment made by a man called Mr. Justice Linden that precisely these barracks were inappropriate and that the Home Office was submitting migrants to inappropriate detention during the pandemic. That is the background to this. Now, on the 10th of June, that's yesterday, there was a debate in Parliament, and faced with this barrage of factual information of these letters, Priti Patel told MPs that she had been following the scientific advice. Clearly not. On the 24th of February, she testified at a Commons committee, and she insisted that she was following the advice. Clearly not. Now, yesterday, she was attacked in Parliament, and a favourable comparison was made between her and Amber Rudd. Now, I met Amber Rudd a year or so ago. I thought she was a rather charming person, but in office, she was almost as formidable and worrying as Priti Patel. Priti Patel, of course, in person is quite charming. But we're not interested in what these people are like on the street. We're interested in what they do in office. Now, Amber Rudd resigned in 2018 when it was clear that the policies she was pursuing were wrong, that there were targets which actually had been set by her predecessor, Theresa May, and she resigned on the grounds that she had inadvertently misled the parliamentary committee. So that maybe knowingly, she didn't actually lie, but she inadvertently misled, and therefore this was a principle of resignation. She was described yesterday as having integrity and decency. Now, inadvertently doing something, this seems to me to be extremely important as a concept when we're dealing with people who are coming here from other countries as migrants, refugees, asylum seekers. Because when you're an asylum seeker, you are not in full control of what you are doing or the facts that are presented. So that situation of doing something inadvertently is very familiar to anybody who is scurrying away from a country that has treated them badly. You are not in control. You are not able to negotiate rules that may be in a language you don't understand. You're not necessarily able to identify whether this person that you're relying on is a people trafficker, a smuggler, or indeed somebody who is offering legitimate support. Under Priti Patel's new regime, these people will be punished for the route that they followed to get to our country, not for their intention. Many migrants will be faced with a situation that they have inadvertently done something which is inappropriate. They will in fact be in the same position as Amber Rudd, or indeed in the same position as Priti Patel is now. Priti Patel, we have to watch the news very closely. If Priti Patel does not resign, this gives most of these migrants an excuse and a legitimate reason to challenge the new government guidelines. It cannot be an excuse for one person and not an excuse for everybody else. To do something inadvertently that we later decide is wrong, this either is a resignation issue, it is a serious issue, or it is not. Inadvertently misleading Parliament. Now, Priti Patel, in her defence, has said that actually what she was talking about in the committee on the 24th of February was things that happened before that, things that predated these letters which were released on Wednesday. So we wait to see how all this bubbles along. But to me, it seems extremely dodgy. And I think Priti Patel finally is in a position where she's already been accused of bullying her staff. And in fact, not only accused, but it seems to be a factual thing that she bullied her staff. Mr. Johnson doesn't think this matters, and so she retained her job. So she's already got a cloud hanging over her. So we want to see how long she's going to hold on to or cling on to office with this issue of inadvertently or deliberately misleading a committee in Parliament. It is actually very, very important in Parliament not to be caught out lying. If you are lying, you need to make sure that no one discovers. If you are inadvertently giving information which is untrue, which could be very easy actually, because our civil service system is, broadly speaking, fairly chaotic. Who takes responsibility for actions that are happening in one of the big state departments? Who takes responsibility? Well, clearly not Priti Patel, and clearly not Gavin Williamson, but and indeed the Health Secretary. So we've got three. We've got three major ministries that are in trouble at the moment for the behaviour of their ministers and for the reluctance of their ministers to take responsibility for actions that have been made in their name. So this is the story of the background to the story of the Napier Barracks. By all means, please subscribe to my channel and please leave your comments below. I'd be very interested if you've got further information about this story. Please leave it below so that we can flesh out the story with details as and when they emerge. There's also a bell to ring. Did you know that? There's a bell to ring. Do ring the bell. Have fun. Bye-bye.